Hello everyone and welcome to another video where I walk you through an FCE or first or B2 as it's now known exam question. This exam question is a question that you can find on the excellent website flo-joe.co.uk, which is full of resources for you if you're studying for your English exam, whether it's FCE or CAE or CPE. I recommend that you pop along to the website. There's a link in the video description below to check it out. The question we're going to have a look at today is the word formation exercise. Let's go through the basics nice and quickly. First of all, what you've got to do is change the stem word at the end of the sentence into the correct form of the word which fits the language pattern or the grammar or the structure in general of this exam question. So don't go choosing whichever one you want. You've got to choose that one at the end of the line. And also read through the text first to get a great idea of context. Find out who's doing what, who's involved, what the relationships are, and so on. Really, really important for getting the context correct. And there is a context question in this exam question, so you've got to make sure you know what's going on. Okay, let's go through the questions one by one, starting off with the example. UK companies have received plus noun. We've got this structure here, perfect structure, have received. What we need here as a noun, because you receive something, which makes sense, doesn't it? So in this case, the noun form of critic. Now, critic is a personal noun. So what we need here is an abstract noun. And that's exactly what we've got here, criticism. If you're not familiar with the verb, it will be criticize, and that's an excellent piece of vocabulary for your FCE writing or FCE oral task as well. UK companies have received criticism from a business forum for what their report refers to as a rather narrow-minded attitude. Narrow-minded means that you're thinking only in one way, and you're not considering anything else that might be going on. So narrow-minded, only thinking about one thing. Rather narrow-minded attitude towards the dress code for office workers. The dress code is the rules which tells you what you can wear. This follows a case in which a male something working in the postroom of a large company. We're talking about a person. So what we need here is the correct personal noun to fit the gap. How do we know it's a noun? Two big clues. First of all, we've got an adjective. Adjectives modify nouns, and we don't have the noun that this adjective is modifying. And also, an article needs a noun, and we don't have the noun to which this article refers. So two clues that we need a noun, easily identifiable if we think about the language pattern. And because we've got the article a, if you see a or an, you have to use a singular noun. This cannot be plural. So the answer we're looking for here is employee. Now, don't get confused between employee and employer. Employer is someone who gives work. An employee is someone who works for someone else. So please, so in this context, we're talking about people working for other people. This follows a case in which a male employee working in the postroom of a large company in the United Kingdom received a what for wearing jeans to work. If we have a look at the language pattern, we can see an article, but we can't see the noun to which the article refers. So here we need a noun. The noun form of the verb suspend is suspension. Just watch the spelling here, drop the D, add in an S, and then you've got ION. So received a suspension for wearing jeans to work. Whilst the report accepts that there is a need for people dealing with somebody to look well dressed. So the context here very much is people dealing with people. So we've already had one personal noun, and in this case we need another personal noun. But we've got to be careful because the context tells us that we're not just dealing with one customer, we're dealing with many, many customers, which is why the answer is the plural personal noun, customers. Whilst the report accepts that there is a need for people dealing with customers to look well dressed, People who deal with customers on the vocabulary tangent, if I can take you there, are what we call frontline staff. Frontline staff, people who deal with customers. People who don't deal with customers, it describes them here as behind the scenes. We can also refer to them as backline staff. So frontline staff, backline staff. Okay, let's get back to the text. It questions whether employees who work behind the scenes necessarily need to dress formally. Now, on another vocabulary tangent, there are different ways you can dress. Dress formally, dress casually. So those would be the two forms. So if you dress formally, it means that you're dressing in a business style, or even more formally. Dressing casually just means jeans, t-shirt, that kind of thing. You might have dress smart casual, which means it's kind of between the two, to dress casually and to dress formally, smart casual. So you might see that as well. Back to the exercise. The authors of the report made once again, we've got an article, but we don't have the noun to which this article refers, which means this verb, compare, has got to be our noun. And the answer is, of course, comparison. To make a comparison between the UK and other European nations where employers seem something about the need for their workers to wear smart clothes in the office. And this is where we've got to be careful about context, because the language pattern is seem plus adjective. This is the language pattern, seem plus adjective. So automatically, if we think of the adjective of concern, we think about concerned. But we've got to pay attention to the context, because the context here is drawing a contrast. So the answer is not concerned, but rather it is unconcerned. So we've got to be careful for the context, because tricky little questions like this need negative prefixes, the correct negative prefixes, of course, to create the correct adjective to fit the context. So employees seem unconcerned about the need for workers to wear smart clothes in the office. So basically saying one set of people think this, one set of people think that. There is a possessive pronoun. So in other words, this thing, and that means it's going to be a noun, this thing, this noun, belongs to them. So to argue is our verb. What's the noun? Argument. So their argument is subject-verb agreement. This verb is singular third person. So that means that this noun has also got to be singular. If this was are, then it would mean that this would be arguments. But subject-verb agreement, something that we've got to watch out for word formation exercises. So here, if I just scroll down, their argument is based on research that claims workers are far more something here. Workers are simple language pattern again. Here we've got our verb, or a form of the verb be. What we need here is an adjective. Simple language patterns. Be, the verb be plus adjective, and we've got some quantifiers and or adverbs here which modify this adjective. So product is our noun. What's the adjective that we're looking for? It is productive. So that claims workers are far more productive when they have the, and what we've got here is an article. We don't have our noun. So what we need here is a noun. The stem word that we've got here is free. The noun that we need is freedom. So when they have the freedom to dress in the way that they feel most comfortable in. And there we go. A quick walk through this exam question. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below. And I'd love to know if you agree with me, disagree with me, or you've got any questions about this exercise or the vocabulary in this exercise. And I'll be quite happy to get back to you and answer your questions or queries. And please don't forget to visit me on, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe on my YouTube channel. Visit me on facebook.com, facebook.com/Cram the Exam. Like me there. And if you are studying from any of these course books, Gold First, Ready for First, or First Expert, I've got lots and lots of videos for you on my website which walk you through all of the exam questions in those course books, so you can study exam questions as quickly as you like and get feedback from me. Okay, I'll see you soon.